Hi and welcome to match 3 of the UK Premiership League 1 tournaments here. These are all hosted at the UK HADO Arena Coventry, our flagship venue in the middle of the UK. So, for those who already know how the league works, obviously we've got our 7 games going back to back, each with their own separate setups on there. If you're new to league, then please check out our video that explains how the rules of the league work, the different rounds, tactics and ideas behind them. This match is between the Boss and Rockhoppers. So let's get into it. So game 1, as ever, is our 3v3 freestyle. So no restrictions, straight game of HADO. Let's see what these teams can do. So both seen both these teams already in match 1 and 2 of the league so far. Both losing their initial games, but both putting up a hell of a fight on the way. So, good court movement, shifting positioning there from Boss. Nice dodging work, evasion in their set positions there from Rockhoppers. Stats there, both teams going for firepower builds. Focus on getting shots down cross court rather than defence or anything else. They've got a lot of backwall play there from Rockhoppers, giving themselves time to see shots coming in, evade, and move around. Two teams holding very evenly against each other at the moment. These two teams are regular sparring and training partners, so they know each other's moves pretty well. I'm interested to see if either of them can pull something surprising out the bag to throw the other one off the game. So 4 points apiece here, coming up on the last 10 seconds. Absolutely neck and neck on this one so far. Nice shield work there, but not enough to hold off Rockhoppers. Very, very close game there, but Rockhoppers taken by a single point, given the first game of this sequence of 7 to Rockhoppers. So 1 more point towards their total for the overall league round. Nice shift there. Good KOs, good movements from Rockhoppers. Accuracy and everything else there coming from Boss. Neither team really getting their eye in there. Sort of 20% sort of mark on the accuracy. I think that's partly testament to the dodging skills of the opposing team, which has not really seemed to lock down a firing strategy that was to cause the other team any true grief. So, in our 100-second reset now, moving through. So this is going into game 2. Game 2 is our scale 1. So both teams are restricted from spending any points onto the scale stat. So their points are going to be spent onto speed, onto charge rate, and possibly onto shields. It's very rare, said before, to see shields in this game because there's so much charge rate boost knocking around from those unspent scale points that shields just tend to get destroyed out of hand so rapidly that they're not really worth the investment. But it'll be interesting to see where they go and what they do with the points going forwards here. So doesn't really give anything away to fire some shots here. Everyone knows you're on scale 1. The shields that have popped up have all been level 1 shields. You can tell from how the basically how dark a shield is, how much strength it has. So there's been very light coloured clear shields that have been popped up by the teams there during the prep period. And here we go. So it's currently 1 game to Rockhoppers. Can the Boss pull one back? Yeah, as expected, no shields on the inside. Just a good mix of speed and charge rate. Standards across the board from Rockhoppers, with a bit of variation there around the basic theme from the Boss. First point to the Boss. So again, as we saw in the previous League 1 matches, this game has a lot of basically location-based evasion, so players aren't charging around the pitch a huge amount. They're staying in reasonably defined zones, and they're actually looking at really conscious dodging and moving in position to get away from incoming fire. Nice early lead here from the Boss. Rockhoppers slowly start to pull back, but the Boss got really good momentum coming through. So possibly staying too high up there for the Boss. Sorry, not the Boss, for the Rockhoppers. Not enough groundwork, not enough shifting around those firing positions, allowing the boss to really sort of get their eye in. Need to start playing a lot lower to the ground to get that variation in and stay away from that incoming fire. So game 2 there to the boss. So he's currently 1 game apiece in this sequence of 7. Across the board, nice shooting there from the boss. Good evasion, good movement, good shooting. Seeing again that sort of 20% accuracy coming through, which for this round is good. You generally see the accuracy rates drop because the smaller shots and the more conscious evasion. But boss holding still pretty high there. Rockhoppers really dropping down on their accuracy rates there. This definitely looks like one they need to do some serious work on. That aiming with the smaller scale size. So moving now into game 3. Game 3 is our 2v2 freestyle. So before, don't tend to see shields very often here. Tends to be more about firepower, and the teams that really dominate are the ones that can try to maintain a 2v1 setup by constantly focus firing a single opposing player across the two of them. And also good communication. Obviously, the moment you're taken out of play, all the firepower now shifts to your partner. And if they've not got pre-warning of that, you've not shouted to them to let them know that you've been taken out, then they can suddenly have a barrage of fire coming their way. They've got no ideas en route. Give them that warning though, and they can actually start dodging like crazy for the 3 seconds you need to get back into play. Hopefully not sacrificing a point in the process. So here we are. Game 3. Both teams playing towards the back wall. As expected, neither team going for shields here. All pretty much a mix around the same theme. Slightly larger scale there from boss as compared to Rockhoppers on the shots. But not a great deal to choose between. So first points there for Rockhoppers. Now if they can keep that ratio, that momentum going, that 2v1 setup, doing quite nicely. Angling across the pitch well there to try and line up the boss players. The more you can get your opponents to basically form as a block, the easier they become to hit. And you can do that sometimes by changing your position and alignment in reference to them to try and put them on a line. To mean you're lining those targets up, making it a much more effective area to fire at. 2 points apiece here. Boss pulled it back nicely off that initial Rockhoppers lead. Coming into the last few seconds of the game now. 3 points apiece. This one going to go all the way down to the wire. 10 seconds left to play. Rockhoppers pulling ahead just by that 1 point though. Could be enough, but boss have certainly got their eye in for accuracy today. Oh, those shots landing just a fraction of a second after game end. So that is 4 points to 3 for the Rockhoppers. So 2 games to 1 in this sequence. Nice play around there. Rockhoppers getting those early points on the board, then kind of losing the way a little bit when during the boss fight back, just managing to keep the focus during those last few seconds in order to take the game. Again, watching those accuracy rates drop down again, sort of that between sort of 15 to 20%. Both teams really need to look at ways to work on that. Said it is partly that they're both dodging and evading well. But even so, you need to really sort of look at what you can do to bring those accuracy percentages up. Moving now into game 4. Game 4 is our shields game. So here, the 2 teams must spend a minimum of 8 points across their 3 players on shields. So what we're looking for then is, from this one, is good shield play. So we're looking for both good shield positioning to use it defensively. We're looking for shield positioning for counter shielding, so if an opponent puts up a shield, placing one directly in front of them. We're looking for how good your charge rate is and your focus fire for destroying opposing shields, just getting rid of them. And also for whether you can start to use them slightly more intelligently. Obviously you can use them as straight blocking points, but there are some better and more intelligent ways to use them. using them as sort of catch points to draw fire into, angling them to stop cross shots. There's a whole load of range. We tend to see a bigger variety in usage of the shields, and therefore a lot more motion around the court in these League One games than we do in the League Two Premiership or the Championship. So let's see where we go today. So nice heavy shields there coming up in the front line from the boss. Good takedown of the Rockhopper shield point there. I was failing to get the shield up. There we go. Both teams back into the shields. No one's managed to capitalise on any of this yet. Rockhopper shield, boss shield are there doing a really good job. As you can see, as your shields are getting weaker, they start to become paler, more translucent. When you see that's happening, getting out from behind there is a really good idea. It's basically, if you're behind there as the shield collapses, that whole barrage of fire that's taking the shield down is going to come straight through into you. Very, very high chance you're going to get hit at the same time. So, slight fall there for the boss. Not off the game, just pulled back that 1-0 lead Rockhopper's had, back to a 1-1, 20 seconds left to play. Nice formation of shields there from the boss in the centre, but it looks like all of their shields gone. And the same for Rockhoppers, so 10 seconds to play, no shields left in. 2-point lead now for Rockhoppers. If they can hold their nerve here, that will be a 4-point lead. That's going to take this. 4 points to 2. It's another game in the bag for the Rockhoppers. Very nice play there across the board. Really good, strong finish there from Swift on the Rockhoppers team. Nailing those 3 points in very quick succession there in the last few seconds of the match. Again, accuracy rates still hanging down in those low percentage points. Not that surprising on the Shields game. There's an awful lot of barriers that you've got to get out of the way. But still seems to be a hallmark of this particular match, that sort of slightly lower accuracy level from both teams. Moving through to our fifth game, so our 1v1. So back to that freestyle. Players do what the players can chop and change how they like on their stats. As I said before, this 10 hallmark here tends to be a high charge rate, high shot speed, high shot size, high shot speed, relatively low charge rate, and no shields. That seems to be the meta that's being preferred, but definitely seeing some real chaos caused by the odd player that drops a couple of shields in and takes advantage of the low charge rate that their opponent is likely to be carrying. So both players set and ready, just wait for the 100-second recovery phase to end so we can get them back and into play. Boss looking for another win here to try and keep themselves in the running to win this match. Building up charge both sides. Relatively high charge rates from 1v1. Extra shot speed from the boss could well be the factor here. Rock obviously got additional charge rate, but I'm not sure that's really giving them much advantage. A great deal more firepower coming from them than from the boss. The boss's shots just a little bit of extra speed to them, making the Rockhoppers have to work more and more just to get out of the way. Both players playing heavily on the back wall, and that's the first point there to the boss. I think that's that shot speed really starting to tell. Good use of the shield. You may only have a 1-point shield, but it's going to absorb some shots from your opponent. You know they've got not necessarily a huge charge rate, buys you a little bit of breathing time, soaks up some shots, and in doing so it puts more and more pressure onto your opponent, because they've got to try and do something with that remaining time. So just a few seconds left now. Single life marker left on the Rockhopper. Very precarious situation. Boss fully intact still on the life marker. Haven't had a single hit land. Some excellent play. Yeah, phenomenal dodging and evading there to go the whole match without taking a single, even having a single life marker clipped. Very, very good play from the boss. So that's their second game in this sequence, taking this to a 3 games to 2 on this match. again, still at really low accuracy rate. Yeah, it's definitely a hallmark of this particular match. These lower accuracy rates. Unfortunately, there is 0% for player 4, not managing to land even a glancing shot during those 80 seconds. Testament really to the evasion and movement of their opponent. Now moving through our 100-second recovery phase, moving up to Game 6. Game 6 is the HADO 20. So this means that the total level of abilities across all 3 players on the team cannot total more than 20 points. Normally, with everything spent in, a team would total 30 points across its 3 players. So here they have to have 10 points left unspent, leaving them that total of 20. But how they split them up to the maximum of a total maximum of 10 per player, their 4 starting points and their 6 bonus points, is up to them. So we get quite a lot of sort of bluff and interesting play here, because you never know who's actually been given the points, where have they gone to, who's got the points to spend. Is the person you think is likely to be the biggest threat actually just a decoy, and their job's just to dodge like crazy and trying to give points away? Or do we have other factors in there in terms of where they spend the points and how they're using them and what they're doing with them? Slight technical issue just getting sorted before we get the game and running. Still sticking though within our 100 seconds to make sure that everything stays nicely on target for us time-wise. Going to be interesting to see, as ever, how the teams split the points, who they've seen as their priority to boost, and who they see on the opposition as their real sort of problem person. Obviously, what we're looking for is just getting the can you identify that threat? Can you limit them? Can you keep your own threat hidden and not targeted, at least for the initial part of the match, to get them underway? Now we're just solving a locational issue. HADO operates on a system of artwork. So the artwork, you can see there on the blue banner, there's a matching red banner, the opposite edge of the pitch. Hidden in that artwork, we have the tracking markers that allow our players' positions to be logged and maintained during the course of the match. The blue player just getting that slight tracking issue sorted there, keeping them to get them up and ready for play. Looks like our teams are ready to go. Everyone logged in. So hopefully this match will be underway very soon. We don't get technical issues very often, but obviously anything involving technology you're going to get now and then. So, Game 6, HADO 20-point round. Initial opening fire there from Rockhoppers. Dangerous blocking up there. But, nice shield push. So Rockhoppers have gone for a shield and a shooter. Looks like the boss has gone for a similar combo. So one player dedicated towards that defense and element, and one dedicated towards points, and one just dedicated towards dodging and causing all the opponents trouble they can. Coming up on the halfway mark. Rockhoppers with a single point lead here. Not a great deal. Can't really pull back on that in any way. Most of the boss's shield's gone now. Interesting amount of shields that are being thrown around in these. Shields can give you an edge, but you've really got to capitalise on them when they're up. Rockhoppers doing nicely here, 3 points to 1. If they take this, then they take the not just the game, but they'll take the match bonus point as well, because it's sufficient to guarantee them the match. 1 point in it. 2 points in it. Nice strong finish from Rockhoppers there. We've seen that on a couple of the games in this sequence where they've managed to really, in those last 5 seconds, step the pace up a little bit. We see it a lot with IDK as well. That last sort of like 5 seconds or so, that real step up in pace, hammering those last few points there and just put themselves good and clear of the opposition. Highest hit rate we've seen so far in this sequence at 36%. And that now takes us as well to 4 games for Rockhoppers and 2 for the boss. So Rockhoppers are going to take the bonus point on this one. But still game 7 to play, so it could be another point, obviously either way here. Another point towards the boss's total or Rockhoppers, which can control their final positioning at the end of this sequence of matches. The lowest, why that's particularly important, is the lowest ranked team from League 1 here will have to defend their position in League 1 against the highest ranked team from League 2 Premiership. Same with likewise, the lowest ranked team in League 2 Premiership will need to defend themselves against the highest ranked team from the Championship. There's always a chance for every round of these tournaments. There's a chance for the teams to shift and move between the different sections, between different areas of the leagues. So there's always the opportunity for good teams to move on up. But it also means the existing teams can't relax. There's always someone nipping at their heels and challenging for their places in these in the different divisions. So just wait for the clock to finish ticking down for this 100-second recovery phase before we go into this final game. Just a quick technical check on some of the equipment. Make sure that everything's good before we get this final game underway. This final game, game 7, is of course back to our 3v3 freestyle. So it's nice and clear for all teams. Make whatever choices you want, and we are ready. Here we go. Game on. It's always interesting to see where they choose to go with some of the stats to game 1. Yeah, they've all got firepower again. No shields on this. This is all about movement and firepower. Early points on the board there for both teams. A real clear, stronger team here, very much like the first round. Very even match all the way through on game 1. Boss clicking a point ahead there, and Rockhoppers arching rules immediately. Pulling them to lead themselves, who's going from the halfway mark. And Boss pulling it straight back. They're not letting them get any air between them at all here. A lot of heavy firepower. Oh, really good hits there from Rockhoppers. Jumping themselves to a 3-point lead. Boss start to fight back. Got a ball back to a single point lead already. Some things that HADO, that was score points, score lines can shift so rapidly, so quickly as they go around. 10 seconds left to play. Wow. That was an amazing cover from the boss there. Real blaze of a finish, and that is going to take it. 8 points to 7. So this sequence finishes 4 games to 3 in favour of the Rockhoppers. So they take the bonus point, scoring 5 points towards their team total, and the boss take 3 points overall. But a fantastic finish there from the boss. Real nice final match there. Seesaw in both ways, and that real super aggressive direct finish there. From the boss to take the final game of the sequence. So as ever, we'll have more of the games from this sequence from League 1 going up soon. Make sure you like, share, subscribe while you're here, and we'll see you for the next round of matches.